MINA Protocol Price Prediction. Small size, huge profits? Here's why. What if a blockchain smaller than an X tweet could revolutionize the blockchain world? MINA Protocol, with only 20 KB, uses zero-knowledge tech to redefine privacy and scaling. Backed by Coinbase, MINA Protocol could explode to $13. Stay tuned, I reveal the numbers, data, and facts, and show you why this altcoin could shake up the blockchain world. What exactly is MINA now? It is a layer 1 blockchain that is extremely scalable. It can effectively reduce data from a few gigabytes on the blockchain to about 20k bytes, no matter how high the user growth is. That is, of course, a really impressive technology, especially for the Web3 sector. MINA was also founded in 2021, so it has been on the market for a bit longer. Yes, let's get straight to the first point. How does the market cap look? And MINA is a mid-cap altcoin, which means that the potential is definitely still there, solidifying in that area. Then the next point, how does the circulating supply look? They don't have a max supply here, and they have an inflation rate of 7% per year, which effectively goes down after 2 years. Most of the tokens are already in circulation, which is naturally positive. All in all, therefore, a strong 8. Yes, thus, how strong is MINA's roadmap? They have already achieved some things, which is of course positive. However, it is the case that, for example, the CK apps are not yet fully integrated. There are also some interesting updates planned for 2025, but I'll get to that later. In any case, so far, they have solidly worked through their roadmap, which is a positive signal. Therefore, strong activities in this area as well. And then, how strong is MINA's team? It was founded by Zero Labs. They essentially have expertise in the field of software development, but also in cryptography. The team is very strong and transparent, both definitely positive. Therefore, also a strong new. Then, what narratives does MINA Protocol actually serve? It is now seen as the lightest blockchain in the world because, as mentioned, at 20 KB, it reduces the data. Privacy is particularly emphasized, and the scaling capability, which is of course extremely important, especially in the Web3 area. Therefore, they are also well positioned for the future and have an important narrative. In this area, therefore, a strong 10 out of 10. Then what problem does MINA actually solve? Well, that the blockchain size ultimately remains the same, even though I would say more and more users are using the blockchain. This naturally enables verification on devices like smartphones, which works much more easily. It is ultimately a scalable, lighter, and more private alternative to, for example, altcoin. All in all, a strong 9. Sustainability, what does it look like there? They naturally have the advantage of using proof of stake, which is significantly more efficient than proof of work. Then of course, since they only need about 20 to 22 KB, the demand for storage space is naturally lower, which is also more ecological. All in all, therefore, a 10 out of 10. Then what about the investors? Multicoin Capital, Paradigm, Coinbase Ventures, all major big players in the market who ultimately provide the money and invest in the MINA protocol. They have an extremely strong financial base, therefore a strong 10 out of 10, who are ultimately the competitors of MINA Protocol, of course Ethereum with its layer 2s. With MINA Protocol, of course, having the advantage of requiring relatively small blockchain sizes, all in all solid. Then, how does the marketing look? They are solidly positioned on X, but also ultimately in exchange with developers and, of course, workshops. However, they are not as aggressive here as sometimes. Meme coins, that's why they are solid. How easy is the MINA protocol to understand? In essence, it's a lightweight blockchain in terms of megabytes, KBS, and privacy. In the end, it's easy to understand. From a technical perspective, it's not so easy to understand, that's why it's solid. What is MINA's long-term vision? They ultimately want to position themselves further in the Web3 sector. Scalability is naturally becoming more important. Privacy is also becoming increasingly important, especially in the Web3 sector, and they also want to build an Ethereum bridge. All in all, they have a strong vision for the future, hence also strong news. Then they are deflationary. How does that look? Maximum supply. They have no maximum supply. They have a 7% inflation rate per year, which ultimately goes down further after 2 years. Here, they are moderately positioned. There are definitely altcoins that have better tokenomics, therefore only a 6 in fully diluted market capitalization. How does it look there? Here they are solidly positioned. The inflation naturally keeps the fully diluted market capitalization a bit lower. Here they are in the strong range with 8. Then how does it look with liquidity? This is in the very strong range, 10 out of 10. How does the token distribution look there? 97% of the tokens are effectively unlocked, which is clearly positive. The lockup period for earlier depth. This has effectively already expired, which is also good. All in all, a strong 8. Top coin holders are as low as possible. There are no extreme choices here. It has been well distributed among the community, but of course also the team, sponsors, and so on. All in all, however, strongly positioned in this regard. Therefore, 7 users of the Mina token. What does it look like there? Transaction fees. Staking, of course. We also have a fairly high staking rate annually. And of course for the privacy app. So everything is strongly positioned in the evening. 9. How strong is the Mina community actually? They are active on X, active on Discord, and also have developer groups here. So they are solidly positioned here. Oh, then what events are actually coming up this year? They want to establish the Ethereum bridge in Q2, which will of course be extremely relevant. More news means in the end more visibility. ZK apps will continue to be developed, which is also positive. Everything in the evening is a strong 9. Let's get to the result. With 82.4%, they are extremely strongly positioned. They have a strong team. In the end, they also have good marketing for a layer 1 altcoin. They hit an important narrative in the Web3 sector and naturally have the advantage over competitors that, in the end, the size of the blockchain is quite low. They have a clear vision and are extremely well positioned for the future because they are truly unique in the altcoin sector. One disadvantage is at least the tokenomics. In the end, it is not deflationary in that sense and also has no max supply. That is suboptimal. Then we come to the price scenarios. In a bear case, around $6 would be possible. In an optimistic and further optimistic case, $8 to $12. And if the entire crypto market gains massive value, Mina Protocol could reach up to $14. All of this is of course dependent on how the entire market develops and how much share in the end Mina Protocol then has in the overall market. If you are now interested in Mina Protocol, I will link you below, a crypto exchange where you can buy Mina Protocol. And don't forget to use a hardware wallet to securely store your altcoins. I will link my favorite hardware wallet for you below. Now that you have ultimately learned about the potential of Mina Protocol, I will link another altcoin for you up here. It also comes from the layer 1 sector and has a particularly unique orange point that is extremely relevant. So I would highly recommend this analysis to you. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, subscribe here. I upload every Saturday and Sunday and during the week. New altcoin analyses, so you are well prepared for the altcoin run. So, see you soon in the next video.